Hello there, my name's Adam Cook and I'm the UK editor for GodisaGeek.com, and hopefully by now you've read our review of Ni no Kuni, and hopefully you're as excited about the game as the review's meant to be to get you there. When Sean handed the review in, he actually said to me it's the easiest score he's ever given. He gave it a 10 out of 10 and loved the game a bit, so when I started playing it I kind of realised why. So basically what we're going to do is just show you about an hour of the game. I'm just going to play it. I'm going to avoid anything spoilerific because being a role-playing game, you kind of want to experience a lot of that for the first time. So it's mainly going to be me going around the map and battling things and doing side quests. So any questions, if you're watching on the Twitch TV channel, you can just chuck them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. Other than that, I think it's time. Let's have a look at some Ni no Kuni. So this is like the open world map that you. I mean, this is one area. You can zoom out. You can also see. Well, it's quite a big game, and you can see the stars are currently my objectives. But for now, I'm just going to go and do some battles. I think. Hopefully, not die in the first battle that I'm showing you.
Here we go.
The names above the familiars on my side are the ones I've given them. They're not. You can name them whatever you want, so it's up to you. If I don't do anything here with my character called Sausage, like they'll still attack and do it for me. And obviously I'm in an area where I'm pretty much over leveled, so it's reasonably easy, the battles. They're still leveling up the characters. When you first see that screen, it might look a bit crazy because there's how many characters there? You know, there's 12 characters there. The 3 on the left are my main party members, and the other 9 are my familiars. They're like, I mean, I've seen them described as Pokemon, and yeah, I get that. I get that why you'd think that, because they kind of are, because you do have that feeling of got to catch them all. They have different levels of well, they metamorph, and there you go. For example, so Sausage has gone up to level 34 and he's metamorphable, which means I can actually level him up to his final form. And they also learn attacks as you go up. Now, if I want to do that, I can go into my friends and familiars section, and I can go to Sausage there, where you see again it's got metamorphable, and I can look at his equipment and stuff. But if I want to actually metamorph him into the next one, I have to go to the creature cage. And again, by selecting him, I've got all these treats I can give him, and I showed this in the video preview we did, that give different stat boosts. And it's a sort of double-edged sword, because if you feed them all the stuff early, then yeah, great, they get their better attack skills, better defense, all those stats along the bottom. But at the same time, some of these are like the fairy chocolate. You can make all these, but they're quite rare to just find knocking around. A lot of them are given when you get quests done. If I want to metamorph him, I have to find the star drop that's applicable to him, and if I select it, see, that one I can't give to him because there's one that you need. This one is for like their final form, which is where he's at. So that one there is also something you can give them to give them new skills. So it gives them the poison pinch. I haven't actually used many of these. I've not really found the need to, because like when you get to bosses, a lot of them have different weaknesses, as you would expect in an RPG. So you kind of have enough familiars that you don't tend to, unless you really want to build up, you want to stick with one familiar, and you really want him to have certain, like this one for example has been very useful. Excuse me. And I suppose you could teach him a skill if you really want to just keep using that one, but there's plenty of them, and I'll show you that in a minute. In fact, let's show you it now. Let's go to the nearest town, which is conveniently just here. Oh, before we do, up the top here, you see these little sparkly things, just random little treasures on the map. They actually reappear, so if you go into town and come back, that will be there again, so you can sort of... It's almost like farming. You can farm the shadow glass if you want to. So we'll go to a town here. Right, so once you're in a town, the map changes, and you'll see lots of glowing things. I don't really want to explain what the green ones are, because it's a slight spoiler. The blue ones are side quests, and some of them are really easy, some of them are fetch quests, some of them involve the green flashing dots, and again, don't really want to go into that. The little, the moon and the star is basically sleep. And that thing there, I'll show you in a minute once I come out, because once you go into the building, the buildings are never huge. Like if I walk around here, you'll see I can't really go much further than what I can see around me. There's usually a treasure chest in one of them, and I've seen complaints that there's not enough save points, but really, once you unlock a certain spell, just come back to a place you've been before, go into the nearest cat's cradle, and just stay. And if you go to the first, they cost a certain amount of money, but each new town you find will cost more to sleep in. So if you just always go back to the first one, it costs you like 10-15 guilders. And as you can see, money's not a huge point of contention. I've got plenty of it. And once you sleep, you get your magic power and your health back, and you can save if you want to, which I'm not going to do on this occasion. And so, yeah, and in the dungeons, it's kind of like there's like some of the dungeons have got 4 or 5 save points. It really doesn't feel, you know, like you desperately need to use them. Now that this here is a familiar retreat, he he takes your familiars and lets you pick them up and take them. So I can put any one of these in, so I'm just going to stick this Whack Smack, or Hip Hooray. I'm going to stick him in. And then when you put them in the familiar retreat, they will take away any items. So it's not too much of a problem of worrying about, oh, I've forgotten where I put that item, it will always come back. You can have 400 familiars in there at any one time. I've not really, in this play, gone out of my way to find loads and loads of them, because I really have found ones I like. There's lots of different ones. I mean, cats. I don't really know what is that. A rabbit? I don't really know what that is. A lampshade. A flaming sun is interesting. That one's, yeah, it's got a horn on its nose. That's another lampshade. Batman and Batgirl, obviously. Again, not my most creative when naming these. Zombie is interesting. Yes, that's Boner. Gobby. And I haven't got a pirate cat, unfortunately, which is disappointing. But you pretty much that familiar tree is something you don't unlock until quite far into the game. I thought it was fast travel. It kept, whenever you try and highlight it before, Mr. Drippy there, where is he? Down there. He will, oh, that's interesting. You know, maybe you'll be able to use this later. And I kept thinking it'd be fast travel, and it's not. But there is fast travel, but it's later in the game. But they, you know, they're useful. So what else have we got on the map here? Right. So the side quest system is based on one of the other shops, which I'll go and show you now. There's no point in the game where you... I mean, I'm 30 hours in, and there's no point where you stop and go, oh, I'm bored of how good this looks. It's if you're a fan of, like, Studio Ghibli, then this is just, yeah, what you can see. So in this shop is this gentleman here, the Taskmaster, and we're in Swift Solutions. And once you get in here, you get merit stamps. Every time you complete a side quest, whether it be a bounty one or just a standard sort of questing one, you will get stamps, depending on the difficulty, and sometimes you even get a bonus one. And when you finish off a stamp card, so you get 10 stamps, which is usually 2, maybe 3 or 4 sometimes side quests, you can use every time you complete one you get a merit stamp card, and every time you can unlock these things. So once you unlock this top level, all of them you buy, you unlock the second level, and presumably once you get all of those, it will unlock the bottom 3, and some of them are great. So this one here, Jackpot 2, is one I've only recently unlocked, and it gives you, basically, when you finish the battle, any glims that have fallen out of the enemies, you have to get them quickly before the battle sort of winds up and finishes. With this, it will just definitely let you get them, so that's cool. Bounty hunts are some of the side missions, and these are all... They're not boss battles, they're basically... It's like fighting one of the familiars or one of the standard enemies. But they're harder. Now, some of these... I mean, if you look down the bottom right, you should see the stamps. And you see that if I did that one and that one, I'd get a stamp card real quick. And that one not so quick. So, also... Well, he's telling us here, people with more troubles than they can swallow will place notices on the bulletin board. So, those blue dots are people, but the flashing blue dots are errands or quests. And, again, they don't tend to give quite as many stamps as doing the boss ones. But some of them are really easy to do. I'll try and do one of the boss ones, I think. And again, why that's flashing green is perhaps a bit spoilery for another time. On the map there, obviously the sword and shield as weapons, and the other one's items. The one down the bottom left is again a bit spoilery. So bringing up square lets you bring up your magic book, and you can cast spells. Triangle will bring up your menu. And also, if you go into your journal, you can... Story stuff is all self-explanatory. It's story stuff. Errands are your side quests, and bounty hunts are... Yeah, they're the bounty quests. Let's see if I can find one. So, Autumnia. A giant gaseous monster is producing an odour that is simply unbearable. Something must be done. And I'll get a poisonous horn, 1200 G, and 6 stamps. And it's in Autumnia. Now, if I don't know where Autumnia is, I can go to my Wizard's Companion and look at Chapter 7, which is Regions of the World. And if you buy the Wizard's Edition, this book it's a physical book, which I will show you when we finish talking and showing the game, actually. So Autumnia is the top right area of the map here. And it shows you can zoom right in, so way in. So it's not a case of, oh no, I haven't got the Wizard's Edition. It's not, yeah, sure, it's not as easy as grabbing a book and reading it, but... And... Oops. So Hamelin, I'm actually in Autumnia at the moment, then, presumably. That's there. And presumably up there looks like Ghostly Gorge. So if I leave Hamelin... It's actually a quick way of doing that. So like I said, you notice it's that item, it's come back after I've been in a town and come back out. That item is back, and it's the same again. So like I say, you can farm stuff. Yeah, fast travel is something you don't get until quite far in. It's basically a spell, literally there. And once you've been to a location, you can use that. You'll notice actually some of the spells use magic power, but they're never particularly draining. And yeah, once you've been somewhere and you've unlocked the fast travel, you can use that to be where you've been. Now this guy over here is going to come and rumble with me, which is very foolish of him. Because normally, when you are leveled up, they'll actually run away. But some enemies will come for you no matter what. It actually usually tends to be those boars as well. You can see how over-leveled I am here. Now, if I leave those, you see they've automatically came to me, those glims. Before I unlocked that, you wouldn't have been able to probably get all them in time. I'm going to try and fight. Yeah, I'm going to try and fight one of the sort of. It's not a boss, but it's a stronger enemy. In theory, when you bring up the map, usually you see the blue flashing like there is that errand. So I'm going to show you something now, which I know I said I didn't want to spoil things. So if you don't want to see something incredibly cool that pretty much makes you pre-order the game if you haven't already, then just look away from your screen for sort of 10 seconds, because this is pretty awesome. I'm not even gonna talk about it. Just gonna literally show it. So that guy there, you see him on the map. He's not coming for me, and he's not attacking me. That's because he's one of the errands. So if I press X, it will ask me if I want to take him on. So hopefully I don't embarrass myself here, because this area is an old area, and I should in theory be over leveled. You should pose some threat. I've never actually seen that familiar before. I don't know if that's a familiar or if that is a boss. So just see what my attacks do to him. Yeah, he's probably not going to take too long to hurt. Now, you can also do all-out attack and all-out defend. Now, if there's a problem with this game, I'm just going to pause it quickly while I tell you. If there's a problem, it's that sometimes although you can control the other characters, sometimes they are not best left to their own devices. So if you're in a boss battle, it's almost like playing It's almost like playing an action-adventure game in terms of that you see the enemy and they'll have a tell, or like a Street Fighter, you know, or a whiff sort of thing. You'll see, oh, they're going to do that attack. I've had that attack on me before. It's devastating. I need to defend. So you on the screen at the moment, you should be able to see Oliver's. He can defend. The way I found of doing it is if you literally press square to all-out defend. Most of the time, the people you aren't controlling will defend, but not always. That's kind of the only fault that I could come up with. And again, the thing about that is it's also about preparation. So if I go back to Oliver, let's just do it with Swain for the sake of argument. If I go to tactics, it's kind of similar to Persona 4, I suppose, where you can just, if you want, just use Oliver and his familiars as long as you want. But you can also tell the other characters what you want them to do. Now, although Esther is kind of, I suppose for me, she's like the magical character, I actually have Swain keeping us healthy because he's stronger and he'll be there at the end of the battle, whereas Esther tends to die for me, so I have her to provide backup. And then if I don't want her to do that anymore, I can just hit all-out attack, and they'll all just use their strong attacks, and hopefully we'll make really short work of him there. So this isn't a boss character. It's kind of like a mini boss, I suppose. I mean, I got more experience from that, obviously. The really cool thing about the levelling up is that if you do get a new familiar, sometimes they start at level 1 and sometimes at level 10. But even if they start at level 1, they will just level up so quickly. Because usually the area you're fighting enemies in, they'll level up quickly. You notice there, the little icon's blue. If it's red, you can't land there. There are some areas you can't get to. It's not the only means of travel, but I really don't want to spoil any more than I already have with that one. But there are other means of travel that you get prior to that one. And obviously there's the fast travel I've showed you. So what we're doing now is I've literally just done that bounty quest, and I'm going to just turn it in. You don't have to turn it in straight away. You can accumulate as many as you want. That's fine. But just for the purpose of the video, I want to sort of show you that. It's as simple as just going back to the guy and claim your bounty. It will show you which ones you've done, so I'm going to get all that stuff. I'm not. No, I'm not. I mean, I can go and do a dungeon, but it's quite far in the game, and I really don't want to spoil it, because it's one of these games that every time you get to a new area, it's never boring. Like, every single area looks different. It's such a beautiful game, and you kind of really want to experience that stuff for the first time. So this Ding Dong Dell I'll go to is the first. I think it's the first town you go to, and I think because this is the first main area again, already you should see like a different colour palette. You know, where it was perhaps greens before. Sorry, where it was browns before, now it's greens, and that's kind of reflected, like, rather than the industrial look of Hamelin that we were in before. Ding Dong Dell is, well, you'll see as soon as I walk in the town, just vibrant, colourful. Everyone looks happy. I mean, you're right. The game is so gorgeous. It's one of the best. Well, when Sean was reviewing it, he said he thinks it's probably the best looking game he's ever played, and there are cases to be made for loads of different games. But for me, I kind of see where he's coming from. I mean, just walking around, like, look, if I move the camera up, it's like being in a moving painting. Or, I mean, if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli, you're used to this animation style, but it's just beautiful. Yeah, exactly. The detail is exactly right. I mean, if I just turn around here, there's a windmill, and obviously you probably can't hear it in the sound, but on this stream, but the surround sound is just amazing. Like, and also there are little bits of the map not hidden away, but you almost miss them the first time. I don't know why she's facing that way either. So there's a quest early on where you've got to find 3 boys. For a mother who's sort of worried and who's lost her boys, and it was one that both Sean and I took bloody ages trying to work out where it was, and it was because, and I can't actually find it again now. There's like an extra area of the map that it's just so detailed that I think in most games you'd expect it to not be an area. You'd expect it to just stop there. And I literally can't find it now. Typical. Oh, there you go. So those stairs there, I must have walked past them 20 times. And it kind of, in any other game, you kind of just think that you'd walk there and you wouldn't be able to go any further, but one of the boys, he's probably still here, well, he was up here hidden away, and there he is, and it's just this, like a little garden area on top of. It's a nothing area, but it's just so beautifully detailed. What else to show you? Let's have a look. So, some people I've seen on forums have mentioned about different costumes, and Castaway Grove is one of the places where you'll have a new costume. So I'm still in my wizard's uniform here. And again, like more foresty area, we're by the sea. If you're going to Castaway Grove here, we've changed. Now, I won't say why, but that was a story difference. You have to wear that here. And again, the area is different again. Like, we're in a sort of a beachside residence. You know, like almost Hawaiian seaside. The area is different again. And those pots, by the way, they also come back. It's not always the same one, but there's usually like a cake. That guy's a ghost. So if I try and talk to him, I can't. So I have to cast a spell, which I've unlocked a while ago. Which is one of the. In fact, you get this spell in Ding Dong Dell. Spirit Medium. Yeah, guild as a currency, yeah. And so now he can talk to me, and this is some might find this is optional. You don't have to talk to this guy, apart from the first time. I actually missed him. He reappeared here. He was in a different area before. It's asking you to solve a puzzle. Now, basically, what you have to do is... Well, see, he's saying you can't read it. So if I go into my wizard's book, there is, if I can find it, the Naz... I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. The Naz... Well, whatever, but it's got its whole alphabet. So if you had the book in your hand, you could decipher it quite easily, because you've got everything there, tells you how to decipher it. I suppose you could screen grab it if you've got that possibility. And what he wants me to do, if I remember correctly, is solve a puzzle. Where is it? It was here. So if you had the book, and I'll even try and show you this page afterwards. It's not that, I don't think, because he specifically says not the bit that's been doodled on. But down here, I think it's that. So on the guy's cloak, there's those symbols. But I tried deciphering it, admittedly, with my 7-year-old son, and it didn't make any sense. So I'm not sure if it was an anagram on top of the puzzle, it was an anagram or not. So if you had the wizard's book in your hand, sure, you could just open the page up, but it's not exactly a deal breaker, because the whole of the book is in the game. As I showed you before, one nice little touch is where I put my name down here, where you sign it. That's exactly the same as the book. So if you wanted to, and you get the wizard edition, you could sign your book, which is a nice touch. It really is a nice book, and we're going to be giving some away on GodisaGeek.com pretty soon, actually. Next week sometime we're going to be giving away. We've got 5 of it's the Japanese edition of the Wizard's Book and a small Drippy plushie. So I think it's a testament to how good the world is that you can actually go into first person mode. You can't move around anything, it's just a look. But like the detail of it, like you can just watch Drippy be Drippy and fall over a lot, which he does actually quite a lot, and you can survey it. Yeah, it's a gorgeous game. But I think we should go and do some fighting. No, actually, there is something else I want to show you before we do that. If I can remember where the damn place is called. The Vault of Tears. Again, the Wizard's Book is useful, definitely useful, not essential. You really don't have to. You don't have to use it. Let's just go and fight this guy. In fact, I'll show you another reason why the Wizard's Book is useful in a minute. When let's see, these guys are actually quite hard. I may well get my ass kicked in. I haven't actually shown you any of Oliver's spells, so. So you can actually keep away from the battle. Like, I mean, you can run away. That cat purse isn't going to let me, but I'm going to just keep going for a minute. See if this does too much damage. See, that does enough damage, but holy crap. You can also use... I mean, it's not a turn-based game. It's kind of half turn-based, half real-time. It's a bit of both. I mean, white bread after a while is useless. Lots of different items. It kind of reminds me a bit of Persona in that when you have to restore the magic, like a strong coffee or a cappuccino, or a strong coffee is quite expensive and only gives you 30 magic back. An espresso is really expensive, but you kind of want a lot of them. That was unkind. To live, he's just chasing me. The pirate ones are even worse because they're pirates, obviously. Yeah, the pirate cat is amazing. Actually, I haven't got one. I've been trying to get one. I'm not actually sure. It might just be a leveled up version of because I've got Cutty there, I've called it. I don't know why. Again, might be my kid's name in it. This area is quite a rough area, and it's not the area I wanted to go to. And what I'm going to do is just go do a little flyby here so you can see some of the difference in areas. Like, there's very grassy. Over here is an area I haven't even been to yet. Icy. So I suppose it's traditional in the sense that the areas are different types of areas, but it's you know. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen some of them in battles, but the thing about capturing the familiars is unless there's a skill I haven't quite unlocked yet, that it's random as to when Esther can capture them. It does seem to be luck more than anything else, but then it could be that one of those question marks that I hadn't unlocked was in fact, you know, easier capture of familiars, or because there's been a few occasions where I've got a familiar that he's ready for me to capture, and the AI has kept attacking. So before I've had a chance to switch to Esther and quickly capture them, they've killed him off because obviously they've got like a tiny sliver of health when that happens, which is a bit of a pain. Yeah, that's entirely possible as well, actually. It could be possible that some are just really difficult to get, I suppose, like a rare Pokemon, if you like. I'm trying to find this area, if I can bloody well find it. It should be up here somewhere. This is another area I haven't even been able to get to now. I don't know, this must be later in the story, but I can't land anywhere here. But again, it looks different entirely, and it looks quite ominous, like a ghostly thing. So the variety is really quite nice, actually. There's no palette swaps or anything. There's just genuine variety. I'm going to stream probably for probably another hour, I'd have thought. Again, because it's difficult to not just completely spoil things. It's terrible that I cannot remember the name of the place I want to find. Oh, sorry, I did see that. I meant to ask. No, because we got the game, I think, first week of December for review purposes. So it's not as you'd expect to receive it. It was to play an early software version. It's the final game. The promo version obviously is the same. So yeah. Again, I love the way the colours change as you move around. Yeah, it's the game's complete. It's the final version of the game, 100% finished. It's just not a boxed version, I suppose, as you would expect. I couldn't agree more. It is just gorgeous. I do apologise that I'm just flying around aimlessly here. I've completely drawn a blank on an area I really wanted to show you, and I can't remember where it is. But it's something I really want to show you because it's interesting. I don't know what that thing is. I keep seeing it, and I don't seem to be able to do anything with it. Let's try and find the name of this place. It's definitely not that one. It's definitely not that one I just got there. How bizarre. No, again, I agree with you. It's a game. I mean, the reason we're doing a live stream of this one is because we want people to see it in action. Because part of, you know, being involved with writing about games is that we kind of feel you have to love games, and this is one of those games we really, really have all fallen in love with, and it's one of those you just hope it does well. But you know, you never know nowadays. Because especially in Europe, I mean, Persona 4 Golden is out. Well, they're both out in February now, with this one being delayed. They're both out sort of close together, and they're both. Well, I mean, if there's any American sort of viewers, you know already know how good Persona 4 Golden is. Yeah, did see that it was #1 on Amazon. That's I think I saw it on NeoGAF, and that's amazing. So this is an area where actually one of the spells that seems useless is not. So Levitate literally does what it says. The only use for it that I found is that it lifts you off the ground like that. And that matters because otherwise there are traps that you can walk over. So you might see a chest and you're going to get a trap. Now this is slightly spoilerific, but I really, really, really wanted to show this because this is just another one of those little things that you kind of... Around the time when I was playing games like Final Fantasy VII... this sort of thing was in them, and you don't get this sort of thing nowadays. So this is a casino. This is a casino, so it's like a game within a game. Now I can just go and play the slots here. And this is a slot machine, literally. You press X to stop each one, and I haven't won anything. Come on. And when I first discovered this area, I think I lost about 2 hours just playing the games. I'm not actually a gambler. I don't tend to bet in real life, but this, I don't know. So you can see that's the slots. This might take too long to explain that one. This is Blackjack. Excuse me. I'm gonna assume that people watching know how to play Blackjack, and oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yes, you can win familiars. I'll show you that in just a sec. So I got 13, hit. Ah, wonderful. 16, the number nobody wants, and there you go. I've got the chips you can buy. I love the way the game insults you. So I'm going to go a bit higher because it's a cumulative thing. Yes, exactly. I don't think I've ever placed a bet in my life, but I just lost a lot of time. Unbelievable! 22 2 times on the trot. Yeah, probably did. Yeah. Typical, really, isn't it? That when you're being watched, you can't win a hand. I'm going to do one more. Oh, well, there you go. I've won that one. Blackjack 21 without having to do anything. So the reason I wanted to show you a win is because if I now play on, you see the stake is at 40. I can keep going, and it sort of accumulates. Accumulates. And oh, that's unbelievably bad. Well, I'm going to. Ah, well, there you go, so a draw. Again, I'm conscious of the fact I'm being streamed. I'm not going to just keep doing that. This one is far more complex. In fact, I don't think I'm going to even bother trying to show you that, because that one's too... It just would take a long time to explain. Here's a guy where you can buy some chips. And also, as someone mentioned earlier, you can win familiars. So I've not got nearly enough chips, but you can... So you can get items, rank C. These are all hidden, because I'm just not very good. But there, you got the idler ticket, so a familiar ticket that can be exchanged for an idler. And the same for a Golden Tin Man. Now, I've got a funny feeling, isn't a Golden Tin Man one of the pre-order bonuses? I'm almost sure I've seen that. So that's incredibly expensive at 99999, and you notice I've only got 890. So I probably have to spend a lot of time gambling. There's actually another game over here. I will absolutely certainly. I will almost certainly make a mess of this. Trying to concentrate on two things at once. I'm just going to do the easiest one. It's basically Oliver and Esther. You have to control both of them at the same time using the left and right analog stick. It's not that hard, but I will almost certainly mess it up. So you see them both there, left and right. I can move them at the same time. And I'm just going to... There you go, I've already lost it. But basically, you get to the end and you win that one and you go up to the next one and so on, and they get more and more difficult. Unfortunately, I've lost my money doing that. But yeah, that's... I think that's all the games. Although there's even in an area like this where you think they don't have to put this in there, it's in there. There's this here, which I don't even know what this is. RIPs, real important people. It's just... Maybe there's more games behind there, I don't know. Presumably there's something behind there. Again, the character, the detail on the characters. Just some sky, and in the background they're just having a chat. Look, two skeletons. Yeah, there's definitely a Hurley, I think it's a Hurley Burley. I think that's second stage of the Hurley character. In fact, I've got one of them. I can actually have a look. So the Gunther is what he's called when you get him. I haven't named him that, but that's... In fact, that's the wrong menu. My apologies. So that's a Burley Hurley. He's the second stage of evolution. The second stage tends to be like a changing colour, maybe a different hat, whereas the third stage, which this is one of the final stages, does look quite different to what the others look like. You can still tell it's the same one, but when they fully evolve, they do look a lot different. In terms of people you're talking about the DLC, I wouldn't worry about that too much, because, as I say, in your familiar home alone, you can have 400. There's plenty to find, so it's not the end of the world. That guy's running away from me, so. So I mean, hopefully, just you guys watching, you'll be seeing like there's different. You're seeing different familiars all the time, because a lot of them are area specific. I haven't seen Wisp in too many areas. So I'm confused. My cat is actually quite low level. I've got a Bumbler as well that's also low level. I quite like, because I like the characters with the swords. Yeah, that's right. You get a Draggle, I think, if you're in Europe, as an apology for the delay, which is pretty cool. Griffey, I've seen one of those. Flutterby, well, it sounds like a butterfly. I'm not sure if I've seen that. Let's go somewhere else. I can't. Why not? Normally you can. That's unusual. Yeah, this is the review copy that we got. It was either very late November or early December. Obviously, it's a huge game, so you need plenty of time to get through the game. Right, where should we go? So another spell you can get, let's land right down there by that. I'm just going to collect this up. It's one of these games that's very difficult to ignore something. You see something like that, 555 guilders, and you kind of just got to stop and pick it up. Seek Fortune's a nice spell you get quite far into the game, which reveals treasure chests on your mini-map. They're never visible, you see, so you can see them on the mini-map up there, and it'll come up with an exclamation mark. And it's always it's usually something pretty good. Yeah, the music is pretty awesome, actually. That guy over there will kick my ass, I would imagine. He looks like an Iron Man, and I've fought one of them before, and it did not end well. So again, I'm just going to show you a bit more the variety of areas. Alma Moon is another early area. They say we're in a more deserty area. And again, looks completely different to the other places. It's actually kind of weird. I personally find the bosses the easier battles. When you get to a new area, and you've obviously got to level up and fight a lot of the new familiars you find, they tend to be the times where I die, because they take you by surprise. But when you fight a boss, because it's usually three characters against one, if you plan your tactics right, then you can usually do it first time. There are exceptions to that, obviously, and it depends on your skill level and how you got your tactics, your familiars, all that sort of stuff. But I really enjoy the boss battles. They're always really good. So something else, the Cauldron. This guy is great fun. You actually have to fight him at one point, and that was a hard battle. So to mix and match, you can just grab anything you've got and throw it in a cauldron, and I'll do it just for the sake of it. So a dumpty egg, an ember stone, and a glow shrimp. And this won't work unless I'm very, very lucky. It'll go off in there. I'll do that. Oh, no, it didn't work. That moment, when I first did that, is the moment both my children laughed their asses off. One thing about this game is that you really can play it with anyone around because of how it looks, because it's about, it's a child's story. You can pretty much play anything. You can play it in front of anyone. You can't catch him. No, I don't want to say because it's I don't want to spoil that bit. These are the ones I've either found or been given, or if I've worked one out. So you can. Again, this is what I wanted to show you earlier about the spell book, the wizard's book. No, the child-friendly thing is definitely not a negative. Again, if you know anything about it, you'll already know the concept of why Oliver is where he is, and it's typical Studio Ghibli stuff. It's really well animated, and it looks beautiful, and it's very touching. So I don't see that as a negative. It can be a mature story without having to have sex and violence in it and guns. It can be. It's emotionally mature at times, but he is like a 13-year-old kid. He's a young lad, so as I mentioned earlier, some of the stuff is more expensive, so you can make it, and sod's law I won't be able to. There you go. So I can make a jumbo sun drop. I've been given the book, the spell book part, or the page that shows you how to do that. So unfortunately, I can't make that one. That one I can make. I can make a game pie. So let's just make a game pie and see what happens. It should just be the same, but he comes out with a game pie. There you go. Yeah, that's right. He should have a gun that shoots feces, probably. But it's not just provisions. You can make weapons, armour, accessories, or just, you know, a lot of them. In fact, I haven't even looked at this for a long time. I could make a rogue's revolver, which I don't know if that would be better than what I've got currently, but you'll see it. So it's plus 18 attack and plus 5 magic attack, which is another trade-off you have to kind of accept, you have to make. So when you look at, say, let's have a look at one. So if I were to equip my Mighty Might Sausage with that Sacred Dagger, his accuracy and magical attack would go up. Great. But he's kind of my tank guy. Like, I just hit attack and he does the business. This playthrough is, well, at this point, about 30 hours. In fact, if I go back to the menu, you'll be able to see the clock there. So 29 hours, and I've been playing for nearly an hour here, sort of really pootling around, not doing anything of value. You do lose hours doing bits and pieces. You just find yourself drawn into it. I'd say if I were mainlining the story, I'd have played about 24, 25 hours of it, yeah. No, it's right from the start, because the first hour is actually quite slow because it's all exposition, it's all story based, and it sets the scene for what the rest of the game is. I've seen people saying there's save bugs. Well, I don't think I actually saved in the first hour because I didn't need to. The first hour definitely takes a while to pick up. It's got difficulty spikes, but they're weird. It's almost the wrong terminology to call it a difficulty spike, because it's like if. For a long time, it's just you and Oliver. Sorry, just Oliver and whatever familiars he's got. In fact, for a long time, it's just Oliver and that first might that I've got. So when you do get another character and it starts switching up the mechanics of changing between characters, it's a lot to take in and it suddenly becomes very difficult. And then you get on top of that and you're like, oh no, this is brilliant, this is fine. Then you get a third character and it's kind of like learning it all over again, and that goes on a while, and the game's always giving you new stuff. Another thing, talking about the Wizards Edition, is Alchemy. I think it would almost be a spoiler if you had the book and all this was filled in, because you would know from the very beginning, before you'd even played the game, that you could build whatever that is. I don't know what that is, but you could build that. And this is all just weapons, if I keep going. But there you go. So it tells you there. You could look in the book. Yeah, exactly. You basically, it's like people are saying buying the guide, but I'm not sure you'd need a guide. I suppose it could give you strategies for the bosses, but I'm not so sure. So these things I haven't worked out yet, and they would be there. They would already be there in the Wizards Edition, the Wizards book. So again, you don't have to look. You could just not look, I suppose. It's down to your personal preference. But you can see from this screen there's a lot of things I don't already know. And at the same time, equipment, creatures and familiars, again. In fact, if any of you played the demo, I think... There you go. There's the Purloiner. Caphurst would be his middle one, his middle evolution, and then those two are the one you get to choose. So you get to choose between those two for a final evolution form. And it's all, when you get to choose, it shows you all that anyway. It tells you what skills they're going to have. So it's not like you're missing out. So you can see mine is basically a Mighty Might at the moment. I can evolve him, but he's so powerful at the moment, I kind of don't want to. Yeah, there's a lot of puns in the game. Puss in Boats, there are a lot of puns. One of the early characters you meet is a cat, a king that's a cat. So everything's a pun, so it's perfect. And, you know... Oh, and that, the best one, which I must admit, I was ashamed I kept laughing at, is instead of calling the Cat King His Majesty, even in the voiced bits, Oliver says His Meowjesty. Even Drippy says His Meowjesty. It's really fun. It's family friendly, but it's not bad because of that. I'm trying to find the boss that might be in the demo. I mean, you could spend ages going through this, and it is a really nice book as well. Yes, Kingdom. The 12 Tales of Wonder are just that. They're kind of just stories. Some of them are relevant to missions. So there's a mission related to this where someone asks you a question, and you have to read through it. Again, I don't know how it looks on the stream. Hopefully you can make out the text. It's really, really not hard to just go into the game and, you know, all the answers are there. Some of these I haven't even read. And again, magic. See, so you can kind of tell how far I am into the game at 30 hours. Because of all the blanked out pages. I reckon I got just over half, and they're all spells and runes. So if, for example, you had the wizard's book and you looked, that spell you get really early on. But I mean, so these ones down here, you'd know what that spell was. Now I don't know if that would ruin it for you or not. But again, it's about whether you want to look through. You can, if you've got self-restraint, just don't do it. I don't know. That's your locket, which holds the pieces of heart. Thank you very much. The Telling Stone is basically an in-game manual. You don't have to look at it. See, I'm afraid I'm one of these people. When I see that, I have to go into it and get that new to disappear, and it doesn't do it until you've gone through it. So once you learn a new mechanic, it's here for you to go. If you think, oh Christ, I'm not sure how I did that, you can do so. The creature compendium is, well, obvious. I forgot actually that what you can do is when you're in here, if you press X to perform action, you can see what they do, like this, their battle thing. No, I haven't tried easy mode. Because it's kind of one of those things, whenever you fail a battle, you'll learn from it. So that's obviously the top one, Gobspeed. Gobfather, Hobgoblin, and Gobspeed. And there's Puss in Bouts. Hyperball was one of the errand quests, like a mini boss. Full Bore was another one, actually. That was quite a tricky battle. I've got to be careful here because I don't want to show the bosses. I don't even remember that one. All that, actually. I don't remember some of these. I must have fought them for them to have appeared, but... it's... Yeah, some of the names are great. A lot of them do tend to jump. But they've got more than one action, so... I have to admit, I particularly love the fact that that snake's called a Roborus. I particularly love that. Yeah, that one there is literally a thing covered in bananas, and that's its first form. Literally, it's just covered in bananas. Chloroborus. Obscure Roborus. And Fluoroborus. Incy, Webmaster, that's... So this is one of my favourite ones, is this one, Seed Sprite. It's one I've called Eggy. That's the original form. That's the middle form, and then, as I said, by the end of it, it looks quite different. I mean, there's multiple... I mean, that's a snake. And that's a snake. Yes, that's what banana tree... Oh, is it? I suppose it is, yeah. A Zomboat Swain is a zombie that you find on a boat. Captain Zombo. So there's pirate zombies as well as pirate cats. Pirate zombies. Now, that one there, that Mademoiselle and Magmadame, were both errands, and I've never seen them anywhere else. I don't know if you can capture them, but that is kind of like a boss one. Yes, you could make a pirate team. That would be awesome. Again, that's one I've only ever seen once. I don't know if you can capture them or if there's ways to come back. I think that's from the demo. And there's Alchemy. That is a brilliant name. Alchemy. Alchemy. That's brilliant. That's a pun, but that's brilliant. We're getting to bosses down there, so I'm going to go back up. So there's lots and lots of enemies in this game. I mean, some of these I've seen once and never seen again. I don't... The Puss in Bouts I've only ever seen a few times. Different genuses. Now, different ones work well with different people, so I'll come back to that in a minute. If I go to switch that one, you'll see that it's a sugar plum sprite in the top right, and it's like a little fairy type thing. Now you'll also see Oliver, Esther, and Swain have got different favourite genuses. Genusism? I should say that, but never mind. I haven't found it makes too much difference, actually. I have tried to sort of, like Oliver's, I've tried to give them, but I've also kind of got favourites that I'd really want them to use. That's the weirdest one for me, by the way, that one there I've called Cheesy, a megalith. It's a slate, it's just a monolith, it's absolutely bizarre. Where were we? Looking at dangerous places is just where you've been, and for the completionists you can look at what species you found in that area, and it will tell you how much you've completed of that area. That's what that is a dungeon. That's the equivalent of a dungeon. 100% explored, and those are the enemies that you find. So if there's a quest where you've got to capture a certain familiar, you can look through your. That's the first proper dungeon. I haven't even finished that. I wonder if I can go back there and show you what it looks like. Cause see, it does tell you the 100%. Yes, I bet there. So there's your completion. At 30 hours, I would say overall, I'm not even at 50% because there's a whole question mark there. Yeah, dungeon-wise, mostly, most of the areas that have boss battles start with a dungeon, and I've seen people say that there's not save points or there's not enough save points. Now, I don't understand that personally, because at 30 hours into the game, every single dungeon I've been in so far at 30 hours has had a save point right before the boss. There are occasions where you'll get surprised by a boss outside of a dungeon that's just like a story beat you weren't expecting. But, I mean, a lot of dungeons have got like 3 or 4 save points. It's... Yeah, I'm not sure about the save point problem. There's just, I know we've already shown it, but that's the manhole cover, just in case. You can get your familiars back. You can have 400 in there, and you can drop off whichever ones you want. No, I mean, I'll show you. I'll go to a dungeon now, in fact. That's the easiest way, and I'll show you what I mean. Boss battles are cheap is the one I don't understand. I'm not sure what that means. If that's a complaint that you have to work out what a boss is weak to and what it's strong with and do that. Yeah, I suppose you do in a sewer, yeah. Yeah, so if that's the complaint, then I suppose, yeah, okay, that is an issue, but that's JRPGs. You work out the boss's weakness and you go into the battle with whatever, you know, armour or things on to stop it being able to hurt you the most. Drippy often does, yeah. He often comes and says, "Oh, you'll get like a few minutes into the battle, and he'll just tell you." So even if you've already worked it out, he'll tell you. He doesn't always, though. I don't think so. Yeah, that is just normal games. I'm not sure why this game gets derided for that. You know, so this is, I think, the first main dungeon. They're all going to run away. It's only got one save point, but it's not particularly huge. And again, the variety in how it looks is lovely. Drippy is actually quite helpful. He gets a skill himself later on in the game. Yeah, gold glims appear. They're brilliant, but unfortunately, you need to make sure the correct familiar gets them, because each familiar has a special like super attack. I would love to show you some miracle moves, but they're completely random as to when they drop. Sometimes they drop like right before a battle ends, and sometimes not. Sometimes you won't see one for hours. Well, hours is an exaggeration. No, didn't mean to run into that. I'm just going to use olive. So,
step aside.
Probably kill him in one hit. Like, normally, not quite that strong. So the gold glims are the miracle moves, and they drop randomly, and I think they give you full health. I can't remember. I haven't been in that situation for quite a while, but they let you use your super move, and your super move depends on the character. So in fact, I'll show you. So his super move, miracle move, is a slash dance, so it's a physical attack. But likewise, so if you want to get, if you're fighting a boss that is physical, weak to physical, you want him to get that golden glim for the miracle move. Likewise, Sugar Plum Sprite, New Dawn, is a golden sun shines down, healing all allies and curing their ailments. So if you get the golden glim to do, that's his miracle move. So even these characters have their own miracle moves. So Crescendo, one that boosts their attributes. Swain is a divine shot that is guaranteed to steal a rare item. The thing about that is sometimes the AI will grab that before you have a chance. It's not the end of the world, because most of them will help you in some way, but very, very occasionally, and I would say only 2 or 3 times in the whole 30 hours, a familiar that I really didn't want to get it has got it, and used like a curse move or something against a boss, which just, it's not going to work. But that's quite rare. As I say, 2 or 3 times in 30 hours is a rare occurrence. Just going to ignore them. They're all running away because this is one of the first proper dungeons you ever get to. Just trying to see if there's any treasures. Zeo power, yeah. Once you finish the battle, you can move around, but you can also get a skill which lets you, which lets them, when you finish the battle, they all sort of home in on you, which is useful as well, which I've unlocked. That's a good... Well, yeah, you could technically hit... if you see a gold glim, you could technically hit the square button for all-out defend, and they should go into defense mode, and they shouldn't, in theory, then get involved with that golden glim. One thing is, the game, it sort of constantly gives to you, like, you know, there's no long period of time where there's not something new you're given to experience, which is always awesome. No, it's not much. Oh, there's a little creature over there, look. This is, as I say, one of the first dungeons, and I have to admit, it's actually quite bloody hard. The first time you get here, it's really quite difficult. So I suppose if you were going on that basis alone, you might say, oh, I wish there was another save point. But once you get into the game, it's just not an issue. I mean, you can save anywhere on the world map. Once you've got fast travel, you can just quickly travel to any of the towns you've been to and save there. I don't get that complaint, to be honest. So like that enemy, despite the fact that I'm killing it in one hit, it still attacks me no matter what. I don't know why that is, but it's just some enemies sort of, they have like a higher level of aggression perhaps. Is Esther a good character? she's alright. I mean, the star of this game is Mr. Drippy for me. The voice actor who plays him in the English version is Stefan Rodri, and if there's any England residents, they may well know him as Dave Coaches from Gavin and Stacey. That's who plays Mr. Drippy in this game. Which is kind of weird, like, but there you go. That's what there it is. Esther's a good character. If you mean her actual character, like her personality, she's yeah, she is. She's part of the gang, and she adds to the humour parts of it, and she's vital to the game because you can't get familiars without her. Well, I suppose you could, but you know, she's part of the party. It's not like you can do anything about that. So that treasure chest, when you first come here, there's absolutely no way on earth you could get that. But Swain has a skill with his gun that you can reach treasure chests that are out of reach, like that. David, yeah. No, he's basically... It's quite funny. I suppose you guys won't know, but there's a comedian called Rod Gilbert, who I thought it was when I first heard his voice. But we asked Namco Bandai, and it is Stefan Rodri. So you see up ahead is the boss battle, and bang, save point, familiar retreat. So you could go into this boss battle, completely fail it because you got your tactics wrong. So you come back to your save point, start here, go to your familiar retreat, and you sort your you sort yourself out. And also, if you're really in a bad state, you automatically get your all your stats back. I don't know. I presume this would just be an empty area. Again, just walking out into that area, the visuals are just beautiful. And this is where you would fight the boss. There's a cutscene before it. And then if you do come back here and you don't want to bother that, you can just fast travel back. So again, it's really trying to do the best for the player. Yeah. No, you have a good point there, actually. Another criticism I've seen of it is that it doesn't do anything different. But you can have a Call of Duty game that does nothing different each year and they get these superb ratings, so I don't know. I don't know if that's a fair criticism. I haven't seen a single bug, and I've only used the one save file the entire time I've played for 29 hours, 26 minutes. So I can't comment on that. And the guy who reviewed it for us also hasn't got that problem. Hasn't got a problem with it, so... I suppose I should just feed some familiars just so it's on here. It's been replicated 3 times. Well, it could be... Yeah, it could be then. The overworld is pretty big, yeah. Let's feed someone. Yeah, from what I've heard about the bug, it's pretty much within the first hour where you have to go and find something that could be look like a wand, and you have to go and pick up a twig. Again, yeah, that bit I didn't find that bug because it depends. Like when you sit down to first start playing a Japanese role-playing game, I don't think you ever really sit down and think this is going to be a half an hour. I think you're going to have to at least think, well, I'm going to be playing for an hour. So with that in mind, I didn't save for that first hour because it's all story. It's all story at that point. But yeah, it is a really big bug, and they will need to patch that if that's the case. So treats, chocolate bonbons, 4 attack. So he'll eat that up. Literally will eat that up. And his attack will go up loads. Bloody hell. Lots and lots. Excellent. And the familiarity is increased. Now, if you max that out, what happens if you do save? Apparently, it just glitches out. I'm not sure entirely of it. Yeah, if the bug was 10 hours in, you would be destroyed, wouldn't you? Yeah, Sean, who reviewed it, actually said that there was a lot of things reminded him a bit of Dragon Quest. I want to say 8, but maybe not. Magical defense. So. Yeah, I don't think he said it was the same game or anything like that. Yeah, I haven't used the Alchemy thing very much at all. Yes, it does look like a stage for play, you're quite right. Yeah, Paper Mario, yeah it does, yeah, good shout that. Yes, I can, yeah. Hang on, I'll just have to land because I've just literally taken off. No, the Alchemy's not impossible in this at all. We're going to be streaming Devil May Cry, the PC version, over the weekend. And other than that, we'll stream whatever we can, really. It's yeah, the PC version, we've just literally published an analysis on the PC version, and it's absolutely incredible. And we'll be streaming that. I mean, you're not going to see the frame rate difference in that, but you'll be able to see the texture difference, and it does look so much nicer. Back to, yeah, so if you didn't see the Alchemy before, you get recipes throughout for different things. They're like pages. But you can just let's have another go at just mix and matching. Got loads of those. Let's throw 2 planet drops in. An ice cream. A phoenix feather. I mean, this isn't going to work, but nonetheless. Yeah. What a shock. There are loads of provisions you pick up to... So, I mean, the chances of me hitting a combo that works is so unlikely. I don't even know why you can select that menu, because that's all your important stuff. Yes, he's a great character, actually. That's everything of the menu shown. Spell-wise, as I say, there's lots of different spells. A lot of them are sort of specific area. Let's go to... Where is it? Old Smoky. So in this area, to get here, you kind of have to go. You have to make bridges across the lava. So that's what where is it? Bridge is for. But again, just the variation in how it looks. Offensive spells, battle spells, wards. I haven't actually got that many. I do find I think there is a focus on sort of using the familiars, definitely. You know, which makes sense. Let's have a look what else we got here. Gateway is one you use only when you really need it for story. Oh, one thing worth mentioning is you can use Healing Touch. I mean, all my guys are full health at the moment, but if they weren't, you can use that. So if you're really struggling, you haven't got any provisions, you can use your magic to heal yourself, like you could in most JRPGs, I suppose.
Let's go!
So you see those glims? They should all... Oh, they've already grabbed them. They'll just come to me at the end of it normally. I'm gonna go and try and see if I can go through the familiar grabbing exercise, capturing one. I'll go to an area where there's lots of enemies to go up to. I actually do need to capture one of these guys for a quest, and because I'm so over leveled now, they're really difficult to catch because they just run away on sight.
We're under attack! Here goes!
These are actually harder enemies because you couldn't normally get to these enemies at this point in the game when you're at this area. Right, so now above that grandson, you see there's a heart appeared, as that is literally as if by magic that has appeared. Perfect timing. The heart appeared. Now I need to now switch to Esther because she's the only one who can capture them, and I'll do it as slow as I can. But I actually do want to catch that character. So when you hit L1, it pauses the action, and you need to go to Esther. And it will automatically bring you to her. Now you press the heart, and it will automatically go straight to the one that you need to. Press it again, hit Serenade, and hopefully, there you go. So it's all in real time. Like they're still attacking me and stuff like these guys. They're not going to just stop attacking me.
I'll do my best!
That's him defending. I really do need one of those for a quest. It's the right thing.
What can I say? It's a gift.
Oh, I've leveled up as well, bonus. So now you get to call it whatever you want. Grandy, grandson. I have no idea what to call it actually. Terrible name. Grandy, alright, I will do. Oop. Grandy. So there you go. And now, straight away, there he is. See, that was a level 10. It's actually, in fact, I'm going to try and find another battle so you can see how quickly they level up. I'm not actually going to use that one in battle because it will just get killed real quick. I'm going to hit all out attack now, so they'll all just go for it. I don't need them really to heal me. Well, saying that, Esther's nearly dead. So you should see that Dumbledore, the Sun guy that I just got, the Grandier guy, should level up at least one, I would have thought, straight away. Or not, just to spite me, that was. If you go to another area, where the enemies are more difficult and they give you a bit of trouble, the lower level ones will level up super quick. So it's always best if you do get one, just to shove them in your party, just for like a half an hour, just to level them up to get to where everyone else is, give them a few bits for feed in. So I'm going to have to call it a day soon, but I'm just going to go and get the Wizard's book. I want to show that to you. So towards the end of the week, yeah, and to be honest, I could play more, but unfortunately, I've got work to do as well. So, this is the Wizard's book here. Well, this is the Japanese Wizard's book. Try and get as close to the camera as possible. You can see how nice it is. In fact, I can try and even make that a bit bigger for you. There you go. Again, this is the Japanese ones. We'll be giving some of these away. We've got 5 of these to give away soon. Trying to find one of the really nice pictures. Well, that's actually quite a good example of the familiars. And I just want to find one of the, and some more really nice artwork. Ah, there you go, there's like a picture of the world map. It's a nice hardcover book. Kind of got that old looking effect to it. And as I've said, it's the bit I particularly like, the really nice touch, was the fact that just inside, again I know it's in Japanese, but there's your space to put your name. And as well as those, we've also, with every prize you win, you get one of those. You also get one of these. Mr. Drippy. It's not. This isn't the one. I don't think this is the one you get in the Wizards edition. It's a smaller version. Nonetheless, it's Mr. Drippy, and I've had to hide them from my kids because they keep trying to take them to school. And just as a final sort of comparison, I suppose, for the book, there's the book. In size-wise, there's a copy of Rocksmith for some reason. It's about the size of a game case, I suppose. Particularly like the weird little reflectivey bit here. And I think I'm afraid that's about it for now. Thank you very, very much for watching. As I say, we'll be doing another live stream at the weekend of Devil May Cry HD. No, not HD, not at all. That's a Freudian slip if ever there was one. The PC version of Devil May Cry DMC, which looks amazing. Deputy Editor Martin Baker will be showing that one. And someone's asking about the size of the book. It's 350 pages, roughly. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you very, very much for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll try and bring you the latest in games, news, reviews, previews, podcasts, obviously, and video stuff. We've got some new video podcasts in the workings, and we're going to be doing a lot more of this live streaming stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned to GodisaGeek. The giveaway will probably be next week now, because we've got a Borderlands 2 giveaway that's going today. That's a UK only one, though, I'm afraid. Yeah, so the giveaway it'll be on GodisaGeek.com. Just click the competitions banner. And otherwise, yeah, stay tuned to GodisaGeek.com. Thank you very much for your time.